this is just me testing. Trying to make sure that this new HP 8 or this PVR thing that I bought is worth it. And is it? The device itself works fairly well, but the software is absolutely garbage. The worst fucking garbage. It's not that it's complicated, but it overcomplicates simple things. I'll give you a quick example. The best way to put this is, I like to use, my previous streaming software I like to use was Open Broadcast. Anybody that's on Twitch, anybody that uses any type of streaming, typically Open Broadcast is the way to go. It's fairly straightforward. You select your device, you configure your device, go on. Well, apparently it doesn't like to work with that shit. Go figure. Simple piece of software doesn't like to work with PVR. It has something to do with some encryption. The guys of the software, they tried to figure it out. Nothing. So I rely on, the capture software that came with this bullshit. First of all, the disk was garbage. It wouldn't even fucking read on my computer. So that's issue number one. Issue number two is that usually, for the most part, when I do voiceover, when I'm basically talking to myself, essentially, I like to hear myself. Yeah, but the capture software doesn't allow me to hear my voice. It only allows me to hear the sounds of my PlayStation. I'm basically... And I know the voice capture is working because I live stream my Twitch sometimes just to see if this shit's working. Software doesn't allow me to hear my voice. It only allows me to hear the sounds of my PlayStation. If you hear a little bit of echo, a little bit of delay, my bad. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. The thing cost me $100. So, being that it cost me $100, yeah. Is it worth it? I don't know. Personally, I don't want to... The other issue is I really do not like the fact that it's out, the input resolution, input resolution, and it's scaled, to whatever. But the biggest thing I don't like is that it's doing it at 60 frames. Which is fine, but, obviously we live in America and our internet connections here are fucking shit. So if the quality seems kind of low, I have no other choice but to put it at, literally less than 1 millibit fucking upload. I really can't afford fucking $1 million worth of internet. But we'll see with this new FCC bullshit. But that I'm streaming right now. I did some little Big Planet bullshit earlier, just trying, that was my first time I used it. This is me, I think, finally figuring it out. And does it work? Yes. Does it work better than the one I had before? Yes. As far as that were to go, just yes. But this thing, compared to what I was using before, it was like some Roxio VHS to DVD recorder. Alright, that's not bad. Was it bad? Yeah, it had a hard time keeping up sometimes. It would jump a lot. It's hard for me to say. I guess you could say it wasn't a delay. It was just it couldn't handle, whatever was coming out of the PlayStation. I figured I'd get something that's designed for it. But this is me finally getting the fucking software that came with this to work, because this thing is the most pain in the fucking ass to get to work with anything else. If you don't use the software that this PVR came with, and I'm actually using I'm going to butcher the fucking name. It's the Hapage Capture. Hapage. How the fuck you said it? It's the HD PVR 2 Gaming Edition. This is just more or less me bitching about it because I'm almost tempted to take the damn thing back. I want to at least give this a try through the weekend, but I think this thing, it blows ass. I mean, what makes it horrible is the software doesn't fucking work right. I'll give you an example. I installed it straight from the CD. Everything seemed to install. I go to hit capture. It tells me I need to restart my computer before any of this bullshit can take effect. Fine, whatever. Restarted it. Try to turn on the capture software. I get this weird it just basically tells me, oh, there's an error, unmanaged .dll. So I'm reading through it and I'm like, what in the holy fuck? It's basically Microsoft's NetFrame. So, and the funny thing is, it's not that I didn't think my NetFrame was out of date because I had just literally downloaded all that shit yesterday. So, to my surprise, there was another update. So that made me go, I mean, after I got that in, the software seems to be cooperating for the moment. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, my computer is not the most powerful machine in the world. But, I mean, I can't fucking upload at, 1080. It's literally, the resolution right now is scaled at, fucking 480. Or 640, whatever the fuck you want to call it. 360, maybe 360. And it's more or less, because if I could do it, the stream quality extremely high, but I don't have the upload bandwidth, and you would hear literally every other word, and it would look like garbage. So that's basically number one. So and I'll tell you the truth, the Open Broadcast software conveniently told me when I was first starting out, it conveniently told me what issues they were identified. There was an upload issue. They told me to scale it down. And it was more, I just scaled it down by literally like a hundredth of a millibit. I scaled it down from like 0.1 to 0.9. No, I scaled it down from 1.0 to 0.90. You know what I mean? Fucking, yeah, 0.90, whatever. I just ended up scaling it down. I haven't really had an issue since. Yeah, when I was using that. I figured I'll upgrade to some new software because the other one's giving me issues to where I had to literally keep it in the right spot or the audio would fucking cut out. There's basically a short in it because Roxio has a way of dealing with wires and fucking whatever they did, either I tugged on it too hard to one day, which I don't remember using it too long to even tug on it, but fucking copper wirings are pretty much exposed right at the input, the 3-wire input. So basically what's happening is the video quality surprisingly wasn't bad. It wasn't flaking out like I thought it would, but the audio would fucking short out and you could barely hear it. So I'd have to move that thing all around just to get the fucking audio to work. But once I got that to work, the stream seemed okay. I mean, you could see from the Silent Hill streams that it wasn't bad. I did a couple reviews on YouTube using that software. And that wasn't bad. But I mean, I figured, you know what? I'll upgrade to something decent. The Roxio thing back in the 5-6 years ago cost me fucking $30. Or not $30, like 40 or 50 bucks. I think it was $40. So I figured, all right, I'm going to upgrade to something that literally is designed for this generation console and that can do all this other stuff. And I'm like, yes, I finally get this thing. I tear it open. I hook it up and the device itself works fine. I will say this. The device itself does work, except the software that it's basically got, pretty much from what I've read from a couple people, is it's almost got DRM built into the fucking thing where it only works with the whatever software that it comes with, just because it wants you to use their software. Which in my opinion is absolutely fucking garbage. It's like, what do they give a fuck about? You bought the device, you gave them your hard-earned cash, and now they're telling you have to only use their software, which blows ass to begin with. And there is literally no help. You can go to their website and type in your DLL problem, and they basically they're like, huh? There's nope, that's not a problem here. We don't have anybody searching that shit. Bullshit. So and it's the software in itself isn't necessarily power hungry, at least not that I can see. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm not using this fucking software to edit video. Nope. I have a different editing software from that. Because everything, and I'll be honest with you, I was actually hesitant to buy this fucking thing, and it wasn't the actual device itself that was scaring me. It was all the reviews I read said pretty much the same thing. The device works great, the software is garbage. It didn't matter what review, what site it was, whether it was Amazon, Newegg, Best Buy. They all pretty much said the same thing. The device works, but the software is garbage. There were people saying, I had to return this because the software is so much shit, and this device won't work with anything else, it seems like. Which is really sad because it's built all right, but I mean, I was actually quite surprised at what I got. I mean, I don't know. I still might return this fucking thing. But red flag number one, I will say this. The first initial red flag that came with this was I opened up the box. I looked at the back, and it had, I thought it was missing something at first. And it had fucking optical in. Well, apparently this edition doesn't have optical in, and there's nothing behind it. And I was surprised to see that there was nothing behind it. And I'm looking in there, and it's empty where the optical is. And it's literally, the whole top of the thing is just the board and the fucking power input. And like the whole bottom is just air. But I mean, there was two things. There was the optical, and what was the other fucking one that was on there? It was the optical, and there was fucking like an IR sensor. So whatever device they were using before, maybe it's an upgraded version. And I happened to get the case of the upgraded version, but not the upgraded version itself. I mean, the box fucking, don't really judge it by its box, but the box and everything I viewed online didn't have those two slots, so I was a little bit puzzled. So that did confuse the shit out of me. I mean, as far as that were to go. So, I mean, for the most part, this PVR thing, it works all right, but people are right. The software is absolutely fucking terrible. I mean, when I mean they overcomplicate things. Now, I will say it was easy to get Twitch on here. I mean, most everything else you have to get your broadcast code, and you have to type that in there or copy and paste that shit in there. But this thing wasn't bad. It literally, there was a main reason why I had heard that this thing was very easy to broadcast with, and it really was. I just selected Twitch, typed in my username, and literally typed in my username and password, and it brought up my little channel stats in this little corner of the software, and said, "Oh, what server would you like to broadcast from?" That was pretty much it. So on that front, I like that, but they made everything else just fucking retarded. Like, I don't know. I just, for some reason, I don't like the software. I have no idea, because I think the reason why I don't like the software is because I had to fuck with it for the past 4 hours to get it to work. And let's face it, when you have to mess with anything for that amount of time just to get something to say, okay, now it works with my microphone. Because Hapridge or whatever, they do have their own fucking streaming software that you can get. It's just basically Easy Stream. Now, the software that came with this device has that built into this thing, which is great, and I like it. But the only reason why I wasn't using this is because I couldn't fucking log on. Oh, here's the other kick in the ass. After I got the official thing and the DLL thing to go away, I went to go fucking use Easy Stream. It's telling me I don't have the device manager installed. Like, basically, I just downloaded this off of their website, and they were like, "We're sorry, you don't have device manager installed." And I'm like, what the fuck? At this point, I'm almost getting irate. I go to my fucking computer, to see, okay, I'm like, all right, where is this fucking thing? Because someone said, oh, make sure that it's installed. Went to go hit install. Sure as shit, it says it's installed. Let me repair it. I hit repair. It gets about halfway through and goes, oh, we're unsure of where these files are supposed to go. You can try again and just keep mashing that button and we ain't gonna do shit for you. So long story short, I ended up uninstalling everything. Fucking took the download link from the website, re-downloaded everything, had to restart the computer again, and now I'm finally here. And that really pissed me off and made me really think for something that's gonna. I'll be honest, I got this for just over $100. This thing average price is around $120 to about $150. I'll say this: the device itself is probably worth a decent $50. I can't see it being worth much more than that. I mean, it's literally, it's literally like air. It's literally two HDMI ports, one going in, one going out. I will say the main reason why I did buy this, and I think a lot of people do buy it because of this reason, is because it does PlayStation 3, meaning it has its own. It literally came with the PlayStation 3 composite cables. Because I guess PlayStation has a DHI encryption or some shit going out of their HDMI that they pretty much you can't record off if you use an HDMI. Whatever, don't really care. Because what I was using before, I had no other choice. I was using component, which was a little bit worse. But I'm using composite now, which I'm able to do at 1080p. But because of my fucking quality, because of my awesome internet Time Warner internet fucking provides, I have to literally broadcast at a fucking low quality anyways. But at least this time, the quality going into that's getting descaled down looks better than what I had before. But for the most part, I review PlayStation 1 games, so I guess either way it could have gone either way. I don't know. But I mean, like I said, the other thing was, like I was saying before, is I like the fact that the open broadcast software had to where I can literally hear. I can hear everything that's going on my PlayStation, but when I select the microphone input, I wasn't sure. Like, if you were listening to this at the beginning, or if you are fucking watching this now and you heard me stuttering at the beginning, because I didn't know the fucking microphone was even working, because I couldn't hear myself audibly. It's something that it's kind of like it's almost like literally a broadcast thing where you're not sure if you're on the air because you can't hear yourself through either your headphones or your speakers or what have not. And I like that reassurance just to know, okay, this is working, and not to say that I just talked for 20 minutes and no one heard anything. Because who knows? We all have that time where we have an awesome, either we go through an awesome monologue, we say the most awesome shit, come to realize later, none of it was recorded, and we can't remember half the shit that we said. And when you try and remember some of the bits that you thought were funny, it doesn't sound the same, and you can't recreate those moments. So, I don't know. The other thing was when I first initially hit start stream before I had to restart my computer because this software requires a computer to be restarted. That's how fucking retarded it is. I don't know if it streamed or not. I clicked stream and it said stop streaming, but the fucking software froze up. That was the other thing. It worked for about 5 minutes initially after I got it installed, and it just completely died. Fucking crashed. And I guess that's the biggest complaint about this goddamn thing. For me, it's, it seems to work all right, but it's just like, I'm literally looking around at my, computer. Whoop, I better move the screen. I'm literally looking around my computer right now, and I'm looking at the box of the PVR, all these fucking wires scattered about. And I'm sitting there thinking, I feel like I unboxed this thing, like, by now, I should have had the thing, I should have all the other stuff put away. I should have had the fucking box put away. I should have had anything else that went with it, manuals. Oh yeah, here's manuals. This thing didn't give me a fucking manual. I know most of this shit's online, but it's like a manual would be fucking nice. You know, let's put it this way. If you were to just hand somebody this and a fucking instruction booklet and the little manual that it came with, and you'd be looking and you'd be just wanting to know, okay, I want to know what's specifically in, like, okay, this one's going in, this one's going out. What does it specifically do? It literally just shows you pictures of a PlayStation 3 using composite, an Xbox 360, Xbox One, I think PS4, and a Nintendo Wii U going into the HDMI in, and basically they're showing HDMI out going back out to your TV. And it's also showing like computer in and all that other shit like that. So, but I mean, it doesn't really explain how. I mean, I guess they figure self-explanatory how to hook it up. I mean, I had a clue, but for some reason I like to read technical shit, and there was just nothing. They provide you nothing with it. So I was like, all right, maybe it came on the disc. There ain't shit on the disc. It literally is install shitty software. Oh, here's the other thing: the auto run didn't even fucking work. Like, everything, that didn't even pop up. I had to manually go in the disk and hit auto run just to see, and even that was retarded. I mean, it literally just said, check your connections. You hit check your connections. And all it is the same fucking picture. This is no joke. It's the same goddamn picture just about that is on the back of the box that shows you how to hook it up to the PS3, the Wii, the 360, and all that shit into your TV. That's it. It's like, check your connections, but it just it's like, but so I was thinking, okay, because when I finally did get it to work, I didn't plug it in my computer. I was like, all right, I'll wait till, it says connect the device to computer, connect it, and it said check your connection. So I was thinking, okay, it's either going to go through and say, am I going to connect with this? Am I going to check with this? Instead, it didn't do any of that. It just gave me a picture. It's like, so that was a fucking useless page. And then it said install software, which it fucking had issues right from the get-go. Am I happy with it now that it's working? Yes. Am I a little fucking annoyed? Absolutely. Am I debating taking this thing back? Absolutely. But on the flip side of that, from what I've read and from what I gathered, this is the best one, but again, the software is just shit. I mean, the other ones I've read where the software is fairly, because this was my plan. From what I read, the software is shit. This was pretty much my plan right from the get-go. My plan was just to run the software, and I almost didn't install the software at all. I literally found the driver thing. I was just going to say, you know what, I'm just going to install the goddamn drivers, and I'm going to use Open Broadcast, because that fucking thing kicks ass. Oh, not to say that this, like, if you have this PVR, Open Broadcast will recognize the PVR, but, like I said, it has, like, some weird encryption to it where you try to set your resolution, there's no resolution to be set. Like, so you try to input custom resolution. You try 1080p or 19 whatever by 1080. Nothing. It says it can't be supported. I got it to work on basically the lowest resolution, which is pretty much what I'm broadcasting now, which is 640 by 360. I got it to work on that. Or should I say, it accepted it on that. When I went to go preview the stream, it basically fucking showed me a red screen in the corner that I couldn't fucking maximize at all. It just wouldn't do shit. I mean, here's the weird thing. The sound worked. I had perfect audio, but, what the fuck's the point of a capture card? If I wanted the audio, I could have done that with fucking anything. But, I mean, the video was just a red. It was just a red. It was literally like a red. So that made no fucking sense to me. Come to find out after I did a little research, it's not compatible with Open Broadcast, basically because of the encryption, which to me is kind of bullshit. I don't know why you would encrypt. See, for this company, I don't get what's the advantage of the company encrypting its signal to only work with its software. Like, I don't see any. what I'm trying to say is I don't see what the issue is. It's not like it's a fucking, you know, I don't know. It's not like something that needs to be encrypted. It's a piece of hardware. You already paid for it. I mean, maybe that's what I should say. It's not, you know, I can't go online and literally just steal the fucking hardware device. You can't do it. You physically cannot go online and steal the hardware device. Just the hardware device. You know, it's not like it's not like music you can download. It's not like a video or a game that you can, you know, just pirate. You can't pirate the actual hardware. Well, I guess you can if you fucking steal it out of the store, you know. But I'm saying how most things are pirated, at least internet-wise. You just can't fucking pirate that shit. So it makes no sense to me. Like I said, my original thought was literally, you know, I looked up the software. I was even looking at it. I said, all right, I'm going to pick this thing up. I'm going to install it, but I'm going to use Open Broadcast because that's fucking kicks ass. Doesn't like to work with that. There is a couple other capture softwares that I'm willing to try that Twitch suggested. You know, I mean, I guess it's you get what you pay for. That was my original thought when I was starting to do with this. You know, you get what you pay for. This was me being fucking frustrated that I couldn't get the goddamn capture software to work. I'm sitting there thinking there is free software out there that works better than fucking something I had to buy. Yeah, I will say this. The Open Broadcast looks like fucking a Windows 95 window. But here's the thing. I'll take something that looks like a Windows 95 window that fucking works. Works well and doesn't drain my fucking PC's, you know, memory. It doesn't eat up a lot of my fucking video memory. It doesn't eat up a lot of my RAM. I haven't tested it with this thing, but typically, you know, I could run Open Broadcast, be broadcasting, and fucking be downloading a file on the internet. Yeah, I'm not saying that my internet's great, but I could be doing that, and I could probably be running an antivirus. And I remember running an antivirus check too while I was doing it, and had no issue. With this software, who the fuck knows? I'm afraid to try anything. This software is so unstable. It's working for the moment, but what the sad thing is, I just bought this. Let me see. I bought this today, which, you know, depending on when you're watching this, is February 6, 2015 is when I bought this. So today. But all their software revisions for this particular PVR, the PVR HD2, the software revision was fucking January of 2014. They haven't updated it at all. Zero. Zilch. Nada. This PVR is not a clearance PVR. It's brand fucking new. They're still toting it as like their best one on their website. So it's fucking brand new. But it blows my mind that they have not updated the software at all in over a year. Because there's fucking issues with this thing. There's no doubt about that. They need to fucking fix issues. And like I said, I'm not going to use their fucking editing software. I looked at it. It looks like shit. I mean, it's to be expected. You buy something that says, "Oh, we have editing software." Yeah, no. The software I honestly like to use. One of the better Windows ones without getting into fucking Photoshop, like Adobe Photoshop and all that. Unfortunately, I don't have the bones. I don't have enough bones or money to own a Mac. Because everybody knows, you know, let's put it this way, if I had a Mac, Final Cut would be it. You know, I don't give a shit. I would be using Final Cut. Actually, if you own a Mac and you do any type of videoing and you don't use Final Cut, you ought to be slapped in the face and have your computer taken away and given it to someone who is going to use Final Cut with it. That's all I have to say about that. But I mean, one of the better Windows softwares that I've come across that's not too crazy expensive, but does everything that you want it to do, is some fucking thing called Video Pad Editor. It's by NCH. It's pretty much perfect as far as Windows were to go. I mean, it has every transition, you know, that you can think of. It has adding all your audios. You can have as many audio tracks in there as you like. You can individually customize how loud one audio track can be. You know, it seems fairly easy editing. You got fade in, fade out. I mean, it doesn't seem cheap, but you know, some of the things on it are just fucking cheesy. Like they got like star wipe and like dissolve wipe, and I'll be honest with you. You know, when I see dissolving things like that, I cringe because it makes me. You know, the last time I was at a wedding, they had like fucking someone that was doing a slideshow, and it was showing, and things were dissolving, the pictures dissolving, and it just, this is all I imagine. I just imagine like a guy that runs, or like if you go to like a mom and pop store, not a knock at a mom and pop store, but you can tell when like their shit was, it was just thrown together, and they were just like, oh, let's just use this wipe, let's just use this dissolve, just for the fuck of it, and it just looks so cheesy and just like literally unprofessional. Like I don't know, it just doesn't flow right. I guess you could say this software has a little bit of that in it, but for the most part, you can pretty much extort to any fucking quality that you want. You know, YouTube quality or whatnot. For whatever reason, I like, regardless of the quality, I like saving MP3 and MP4. I like saving it in that file. You know, it just, because then I can really upload it to anything. But I will say, since YouTube makes it a hell of a lot easier, it's just it's easier to fucking upload it as Flash than go from there. Now, like I said, you know, as far as anyone watching this, I don't know if anyone's watching this live, but I mean, if you come across this on YouTube and you have this fucking HD PVR, I don't know how else to fucking review this damn thing. I mean, who knows? I might end up taking this and fucking throwing it, you know, on yeah, I just end up taking this and, you know, fucking edit, just pretty much edit in some video of what this thing looks like, or a fucking picture of it or some shit. Maybe or maybe not, or you just get to enjoy my fucking PS3 background, which is just your standard, just showing shit. You know, I don't know. That thing fucking, that fucking pissed me off. I had other shit that I wanted to do tonight. I neglected I had other shit that I wanted to do tonight, but I was fighting fucking tooth and nail to get this goddamn thing to work. Well, I guess it works for the moment. I mean, the stream quality didn't seem bad. From when I've previewed, it's not skipping like it was. So, I mean, I guess I can't complain too much. But my internet's fucking horrible. It doesn't exactly like me to like watch my stream on Twitch while I'm streaming, because I don't know, my internet's garbage. Yeah, I'm paying for at least 15 millibit down, 15 or 20 down. I gotta fucking get a hold of Time Warner massively and find out what the fuck's going on. If I got literally 15 down and 1 up, which is about average, but I fucking speed tested my shit, not even fucking close to 15 down. Not even fucking close. You know, if it was basing it off of ping, so that's the thing. I want to say that's, you know, it's basing off of ping, like the quickest ping, and it was fucking like 3 millibit down, which is absolute fucking terrible. But I will say on that, I don't know if that has anything to do with what I was using at the time, because at the time people were watching Netflix. You know, my fucking phone was probably doing some shit. So who knows if that has any impact in it, but it was just making it fucking miserable. But either they resolved the problem, because while I'm watching my stream now and having it not flake out on me is pretty awesome right now. You know, I honestly don't know the delay in seconds of how many seconds it is. Let's see if I can full screen this thing for you. It's definitely less than a minute. I don't know what it is exactly. I'm just looking at the time. Yeah, if you full screen it and this looks like shit, I'm sorry. Because if I weren't to have it, the stream quality a little bit lower, you'd be getting that fucking awful digital skip, and I hate that. Okay, well, time just turned 42 on my PlayStation. Oh, yeah, it's getting late. Time just turned 42 on my PlayStation. So I guess if you do a countdown from there, I average it out. It's anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds. Which, well, I guess that has nothing to do with... Okay, that was probably... I think that was like 15 seconds. So, I mean, I guess the delay isn't as bad as I originally thought. But if people had told me that's Twitch, I thought it was my end. You know, the delay's kind of that big. I don't know. But I'm going to call it a night. And I guess you could say this was my fucking rant or my I don't know what you would call it, like unofficial or just literally shot out of a cannon review of fucking the Hepridge HD PVR 2 Gaming Edition. You know, I'm assuming the non-gaming edition can do all the same shit, except fucking, yeah. I don't mean to be swearing a lot. I'm just fucking pissed. I don't really know what else to tell you. Like you see most of my other videos, I typically don't swear that much. I just had no other choice to go off on this goddamn thing. Like I said, the device itself, it works, but the software is a piece of shit. And like I said, here's my final thoughts on the device. The device itself, it was lighter than I thought, which I guess I didn't want it to be too heavy. But the fucking PlayStation cables that it came with are heavier than the actual device. You know, so it's hard for me to say if the quality is there. I mean, if they put as much effort in... I'll say this. As long as they put more effort into the box itself, I guess I'll be a little more happy. Because they definitely didn't fucking put it into the software at all. Especially since it's been over a goddamn year and they haven't released a single fucking update for it. But I will say the last update that they did do was kind of their massive, oops, we fucked up overhaul, and it was just a huge fucking patch update. Because the amount of stuff that was on there was just incredible. It was basically, they're like, oh, we got microphone. Yeah, apparently until... Here's the funny thing. As I was reading this, apparently up until last year, it had almost no microphone support at all. Either that or it just didn't support a microphone. Or it had microphone issues where it said it supported it, but it wasn't fucking working. So I guess you could say I'm glad I bought it on the downturn. But I'll be honest with you, if I do end up keeping this thing, it's gonna be the last. That's the last PVR I'm buying from this place. I mean, I'll fucking go back to Roxio. I know. Roxio, easy VHS to DVD, whatever bullshit. That device had less issues than this thing. And I'll be honest with you, the software that came with was utter garbage. Actually, I shouldn't say the software that came with it was, I'll take that back. The software that came with the Roxio wasn't garbage. It's very, very resource heavy. Like, I looked at the minimum requirements of this PVR, and, for what any newer computer has in it, like I said, I don't even have an actual dedicated video card. I'm actually running that could be part of my problem. But I'm actually running this. I'm running this off a GPU. It's got a decent GPU in it. So, I mean, they say that's what, the quality gets knocked down. But, I've previewed this thing at the highest settings. I didn't see a blip. I have recorded this thing at the highest settings. I didn't see any issue with it. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. But, like I said, I couldn't upload I couldn't fucking upload... Or should I say stream in fucking high quality anyways, because my internet is absolutely terrible. And the upload is fucking horrendous. I mean, they and the United States just went through their whole big net neutrality thing, and they're going to they're probably going to reclassify it as a utility and all this other shit, which... It has its pros and cons. Obviously, the pro is reclassified as a utility, but they're not going to necessarily regulate prices, but they can't close the open internet. The only other bad thing is, let's put it this way. most people know this. How often do you see like a fucking power truck, like a Niagara, like a NYSEG or a fucking National Grid or whatever other power company go down your street? You usually don't unless you. The answer is you don't unless there's a fucking storm and wires get knocked down, and that's the only time they repair it. But basically that leads me to my point is if they reclassify it as that, they're going to basically, because they want to, obviously they want to push it where it's fucking 25 down and 4 up to consider it quote unquote broadband. Now, to me that's a blow to the company saying they can't market it as broadband, but most things I've already, they don't necessarily market it as broadband, they just say high speed internet. That's how they get away with it. But basically my point is there's no incentive for them to really do uptick maintenance unless something goes wrong. Meaning that they don't necessarily have to repair anything. They don't necessarily have to keep up on anything. Unless it stops working, then that's where they do it. But if they don't stop working, they're not going to fix issues. Now, from everything I've read and seen, fucking Europe is the place to be. Fucking, Europe is the place to be, hands down, for the internet. Europe, England, Wales, somewhere, those countries over there. Well, okay, Europe is a fucking, yeah, all right. Let's just say fucking, let's just say United Kingdom. Let's say, their internet is so fucking much more superior. There has been people on record that said they would love to move to the United States, but they cannot because the internet is such shit. These are like professional YouTubers. And the ones that are living across the pond there in London basically say they would love to move to the U.S., but they refuse to do it because the internet is such terrible. Which, it's basically... I mean, most of us know the internet's pretty bad, but, it's like, it makes me really curious to know, I wonder what their internet is like. I mean, regardless, their internet does have some restrictions on it, but it makes me wonder how much faster is their internet compared to ours. I guess you could say Verizon Fios is the way to go. There was someone that was just gloating saying they had 75 down and fucking 75 up because they got that whole fucking same as up, same as down. And that is just absolutely fucking sane. Makes me salivate. But it makes my wallet cry when I think about that. I don't know how. I want to say that was just for the internet was like $180. Something. It was something fucking insane. Because they offer all these shitty packages where it's like, oh, $89, but the $89 is basically, I think, just a little bit better than what I have now. I think it's like, I don't know if that. I guess it's maybe. I don't know if they're doing with the $89 is 25 down, 25, 25, but I think theirs starts at 25 and works from there, which compared to Time Warner is fucking astoundingly better. Just right off the bat, because Time Warner's base is literally like if you were to go to Time Warner's lowest tier, it's like fucking, I think it's like 8 or 10. So it's. I have like basically the next step up. Oh, and their fucking Time Warner Turbo service. Basically, they say, oh, when there's available bandwidth, you'll get a speed boost. That's like saying back in the day, if you've ever been on dial-up and let's say you were downloading songs off of like Kazaa or fucking LimeWire. Yeah, remember those fucking things? But you would, especially at dial-up, probably Kazaa would be more susceptible to that, or even Napster. And remember the original Napster? Fuck that. Remember 1999? Fucking Napster was the shit. You could get all your free music that way, but the dial-up, and it was literally if you had fucking superior dial-up if you were downloading at fucking 5 kilobytes a second. You're like, yeah, my song's gonna be done in fucking 10 minutes. It'd be a 3 megabyte song, like, yep, this will be done in 10 to 15 minutes. Woohoo! But but most of your shit internet, most of your standard fucking dial-up internet was you download anywhere between like 1.5 kilobytes to fucking 2.5 kilobytes. Yeah, that's some rough shit. But you always get. But what the only I compare the speed boost to this is your song is downloading at 1.5 kilobytes, and then it jumps up to downloading to 5 kilobytes for like 3 seconds, and then it's back down to fucking 1.5 kilobytes. That's the only way I can compare it. Is you get that speed boost. Basically, it's on there so short that you probably wouldn't even fucking notice it. But all right, that's my rant on this thing. As far as that were to go, so that's going to be my rant on this PVR. It's not bad, but the software is other garbage. Aside from that, experiment, and it's proving that just because I'm not saying this definitely wasn't the most expensive thing out there, but just because it says designed for gaming doesn't mean it's fucking great. But on that note, I'm gonna let you go.